start by thanking you for taking the time to chat with us at the Christian Beat, all about your upcoming album, Sorry I Changed.
Yes, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to talk a little bit first. How is this project unique for you compared to some of your previous projects?
Yeah. So for me, this has been a before this album, it was kind of a big transition season. So I grew up making music and I got signed to Toby Mac when I was 17, 18 years old. And so I came up with a song called Right on Time and did the whole thing over there with Toby. And I finished my contract earlier last year. And so after that, I was just kind of in a transition period and figuring out what I wanted to do, meeting with labels and the whole nine like that. And I ended up getting to partner with RCA, Provident Records. And yeah, it was just a lot of, I feel like pressure a little bit. Maybe it was me putting it on myself, but I was just kind of like super excited and nervous at the same time about just the new season. And so going into this project, I just kind of wanted to speak to people in a new way. You know what I'm saying? Still just elevating my craft, but you know what I'm saying, change it in a different way. And so that's kind of where the change come from. It was just the album's called Sorry I Changed. And so it's like talking about just like what I was talking to you about, of just like the on the surface level of the changes that was going on in my life, far as the label situations, far as this is my first album being married, and this is my first album a homeowner, like all those different changes. But I feel like another thing that God was showing me is that like real life changes you. And so this past like year and a half, 2 years, just going through a bunch of like real life things. It's a different making music when you're a teenager versus being a 25-year-old man and married and the whole nine and navigating the things of life. It's like losing loved ones and losing friendships and just elevating in your life and having to leave things behind, like leaving things of yourself behind, leaving people behind and things like that. So there's some remorse that comes there. So that's where the sorry comes from. And so that's how it was different for me. It was just a lot of real things going on. And yeah, so that's where we're at now. Sorry I changed.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I'm curious then, so you're coming from such a personal place. You're talking through all your transitions and processing that as you're going through this music. So how do you think that helps the listeners to connect to what you put out?
Yeah, for sure. I think one thing I always try to communicate is like, yes, I'm saying sorry, I changed, but I want people to read the title and be like, no, sorry, I changed. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone is going through different things. And
Mhm.
I feel like something, I was talking to a friend, and we were talking about how we feel like people get misconstrued what faith is. Because I feel like people think faith sometimes is the disregarding of reality. It's disregarding the things that you're going through right now. And it's like, that's not what faith is. Faith is just believing in a greater reality, believing in a reality that God's going to do what he said he's going to do, that he's on the throne and the whole nine. And so I want people, like when they listen to the album, they hear the realities of the things that they're going through and that I'm going through and relate to them. But also, of course, I have hope songs where it's just like giving hope of like, hey, us as Christians, us as believers, if you believe in God, if you don't, it's like, look, there's a greater reality coming. And so I want everybody to relate to the album and just apply it to what they're going through in their life for sure.
Sure. And you pre-released a handful of tracks leading up
Yeah.
to the full album. So what has been the stories that you're getting back, the impact that you're already seeing with this?
It's been amazing. It's been amazing. Like I'm very humble just about people just enjoying the music. There's a lot of people that been rocking with me since I was a kid and been, you know what I'm saying, been there along the way, but there's also some new people that's just coming around and we're just growing every day. And so I'm super grateful. Like the songs are every single song is just kind of like connecting to people in a different way. I feel like the standouts are I Love It and Proof. Those two songs are kind of yeah, taking a world of their own. So I'm super excited and I'm just super grateful that people are connecting to the music because it's a super vulnerable thing just to put like your real life stories into songs and you
Mhm.
know and put it out into the world for people to just judge and so it's just I'm grateful man that people are connected to it for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I'm curious. obviously you can't predict how the songs are going to be received, but is there one of the unreleased tracks yet that you're just like most expectant for when it's going to come out later this month?
Yeah, for sure. I think something about the name with Kirk Franklin. I'm kind of yeah, I'm thinking that one's gonna be one of those ones. Definitely because I have Kirk on it, but just the song is pretty amazing. And I've been like doing this whole thing of where I've been just going around and playing the album for people. So I just
Mhm.
came back from Kennesaw State University in Atlanta, and like that was one of the ones that they just kind of gravitated to because I feel like I just wanted to bring a old school message and bring it in a new way. And so it's taking like a super song talking about something about the name Jesus and bringing a new flavor to it. So I'm really excited to see how that's going to connect to people for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. And that's not the only collab that you have. You have other collabs on this,
Yeah.
don't you? As well.
Yeah. So Kirk's on the album, and then my friend Doe's on the album, Doe Jones. So yeah,
Mhm.
I'm super excited about that. She killed her verse on the song called Infinity. She came in and just murdered it. So I'm super excited. That's the only two features I got on there, and they're two big features for me. Like I really love, of course, Kirk being the legend, and then that was my friend. Like she'd be over the house all the time with me and my wife and her husband and stuff like that. But also just because like I grew up on Forever Jones when she was in the group singing
Uh-huh.
he all and stuff like that. So I'll be messing with her all the time. It's just like, man, I have Doe Jones on the album. So I'm super excited about the collabs. I hope people rock with them for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I'm also curious. So the theme of this, and you've mentioned it a few times, is about your transformation and your change. What have you seen though that's been kind of that thread that's connected your career, connected your music throughout all of this?
Yeah, I think for me, the thing that's just always consistent is being like motivational to people that look up to me. I come from a small town. I come from Bristol, Virginia. You probably don't even know where that's at. So, like just people in the city always, anytime I do something that is anything like they kind of gravitate to it because it's just like the fact that I'm able to do the things that I'm doing and sign the record deals, be in arena shows and the whole nine just kind of shows everybody and every kid, every even adult that you know what I'm saying, you can come from small beginnings, you can come from wherever you want to come from and still do the things that you know what I'm saying you want to do in this world if God's called you to do it. And so I kind of always just um push that message forward in my music of just keep going and keep God first and keep going. That's kind of like my whole thing throughout all of my songs. Like keep God first and keep going because anything is possible. If I'm able to do the things that I'm doing right now, if I'm able to, you know what I'm saying, be on stages and I dreamed of it as a small kid, like anything that you dreamed of or any of your dreams are super possible because if he did it for me, like he could definitely do it for you. So
Absolutely. And you mentioned that you've been taking the album around already, doing some listening groups as well. So how are you looking to continue that conversation leading up to the release and then after the release as well?
yeah, for sure. I'm next week or this week I'm going to Greenville just to play for some people.
Mhm.
So I one thing about me, just because like I said, I'm like super humble about people just connecting to my music and stuff like that. I'm super just connected to my people, to the people that support me and stuff like that. So I continue to just be out there. I'm going on tour. So I'm putting together a headline tour right now and stuff like that. So I just kind of want to touch the people and see how it's, you know, connecting to people and the whole nine. So I feel like Sorry I Changed is kind of bigger than me. It's a movement that I feel like I want people just to connect to and just take for themselves. So
Absolutely. And how does that impact you when you're seeing the songs hit live and you're seeing the interactions, you seeing like the light bulb moments or those types of things in those listening and singing along? How does that then further kind of enhance the songs for you when you continue to put them out?
yeah. I feel like it's just I try to take it with a grain of salt because I know it's like I said, I'm just humble and grateful that people connect to it. And I know that any point in time people could, you know, say not connect to it and not whatever. So like I
Mhm.
said, every single day I just take it, you know what I'm saying, with a grain of salt and I'm just grateful that people are. So when I listen to it, I definitely like I just thank everyone for listening to my music, and I try to stay connected as much as possible so that when I go back and I make new music, that I'm speaking to people. Because as an artist, like I said, it can definitely get times where you feel insecure, like you feel like some songs might not, what I'm saying, are supposed to do better, or some songs is, what I'm saying, you didn't expect this song to do that. So you're like, oh, should I do more songs like this? It's like it's a bunch of things that just go through your head. It's like that you just have to check on yourself. But I feel like God is just teaching me of just like give that stuff to him. Consider, continue to just put my thoughts, put my experiences, put the things that God is teaching me on my music and let him do the rest. And I feel like that's been a great recipe for me. So I'm just trying to continue that and continue to keep it going. So
Absolutely. Well, I really want to thank you for taking the time. I'm going to close with one final question for you.
yeah.
But just given the opportunity, like what's on your heart right now? What are you expectant for in your prayers for those that get to connect with this music?
Yeah, I think my prayer off like talking since the beginning, the things that you're going through, the things that you're dealing with, I want you to know that it's for a reason. You know what I'm saying? As hard as that may sound, the scripture talks about like all things work together for the good. And even with my song Proof, it's like me talking and going through all these things I was going through. I was going through family situations. I was going through, like I said, losing loved ones and stuff like that. And the question that I ask myself is, why do us as Christians always worry when God has proven over and over and over again that he's going to come through? It's like if you think about your life right now, all the things that you thought that you wouldn't get through, you got through and you're still here today. So I just want everybody to just kind of take this and be like, no, sorry, I changed. We're going to continue to put God first in my life. I'm going to continue to do the things that he called me to do. I'm going to continue to go after my dreams. And if that offends you, if that, you know what I'm saying, we can't be friends after that, I'm sorry, but I changed. And so, yeah.
That's awesome. I just want to thank you again, Aaron. I've really appreciated getting to hear your heart behind this music, and I'm really excited for when it gets to fully release later this month. So thank you so
Yes.
much.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate it so much.